Hello, and welcome back to the Mental Health Podcast, your information site to understand and care of your mind. I'm your host, Rosa Matarrita, and today we are with Raquel Rojas, expert in children's mental health.
Hi, thank you for inviting me. I always enjoy your podcast.
Thank you. Today's episode is about the impact of COVID-19 on the mental health of children, adolescents, and youth.
Well, that's a big deal nowadays, right?
Yes. Did you know that their perception of the future has been negatively affected more in the case of young women who have and are facing particular difficulties? For example, the 43% of the women feel pessimistic about the future, compared to 31% of the male participants of a recent poll conducted by UNICEF.
I didn't know, and that's a really big number.
Yes, and that's why we ask to young people how do they feel and what's their formula to take care of mental health. And we got some interesting answer. For example, Joao from Brazil said, my formula was to change habits, wake up early to be more productive. Self-awareness also helps me a lot.
Yeah, I also ask on my social media what is their formula of my followers. I had an interesting answer from Christine in Jamaica. She said my formula has been kept myself busy, exercise more, and maintain a great attitude.
Wow, yes. And Rosa, a 14 years old girl from Guatemala said, my formula was being to read and write what makes me feel bad. I think that's a great idea. On
Yeah.
many occasions, I have cried. I have tried to distract myself by drawing and watching series. The COVID-19 has changed me a lot. I don't even recognize myself. Also, we want to know some stories about the lockdown and how people is dealing with it. Cyan Edwards has gone back to work this week. It's a relief because for her, the weeks, then months of COVID lockdown have been a strain because she experiences both depression and anxiety, and like too many others, she has missed the structure of her life before the lockdown because she has a job as a young school teacher.
Oh yeah, I believe I read the story. I recall she said that when the virus arrived, she thought it would fade away and wouldn't amount to anything. And then of course we had the lockdown, which immediately set off the alarm bells. Like, oh my God, how I'm going to get cope with my mental health and that kind of thing.
Yes, and she also said that without being able to bubble with her mother and enjoy, the family garden during the spring, she would most likely have ended up in the hospital. But the continuing uncertainty of the restrictions and where it will end, and when the new normal will return, plays on her mind.
Well, yeah, but I also believe vaccination programs is offering hope that things will begin to change. Lots of people are coming back to work now as the schools are opening and the lockdown is starting to fade away.
I believe that too.
Well, also, as we were going to talk today, mental health in children is a big issue nowadays. Study on China showed that 22% of youth had showed signs of clinical depression, which is a lot higher than the 13% estimated before the pandemic.
That's a big increase. Kids are definitely feeling the consequences of this situation, and they also worry about their family, and a lot of people have sick relatives nowadays. It's a lot to deal with.
Yeah, it totally is. Well, but in this case, it seems that information is key. Students without depressive and anxiety symptoms have more knowledge about preventive and control measures as compared to those students with depressive and anxiety symptoms.
Well, that's a relief. Knowing that at least there's something we can do to help out or youth. Do you have any tips for the kids and the parents maybe who might be having a tough time right now?
Well, I actually do have some tips. Well, according to UNICEF, it really helps when you stick to a routine because it helps the kid to maintain the sense of time, of the time that's passing normally. Also, you should let your child feel their emotions. You shouldn't tell them that everything's gonna be okay, you have nothing to worry about, because this is an stressful situation and we should acknowledge that. Also, check with them about what they're hearing, what news are they listening to. There's a lot of fake news right now. Create some welcome distractions. You should try to spend a lot of time with them and take their mind off the situation. And finally, monitor your own behavior. You know, kids are affected by your own behaviors, and we should really be aware of this, because sometimes the parents stress a lot and talk about these difficult situations, and then the kid starts stressing because of what the parent is saying.
Yes,
But
that are good points.
yeah, well, I mean, it's always been a difficult situation um, to deal with these things, but especially now with the pandemic, another issue that we're having right now would be isolation. You know, 36% of respondents or to a national survey reported feeling lonely most of the time on October 2020, compared with only 25% who recall experiencing serious issues in the 2 months prior to the pandemic.
Yeah, isolation can definitely have serious implications in the day to day. The mental health of the people can quickly deteriorate.
Yeah, well, not only the mental health, also the physical health overall. Some consequences of isolation can be depression, poor sleep quality, accelerated cognitive decline, and even poor cardiovascular function.
Really? I mean, I knew that isolation could damage your mental health, but I had no idea it also had physical implications. That's shocking.
It sure is. And it's not a fair illness either. In this case, among older adults in particular, loneliness is more likely to set in when an individual is dealing with functional limitation and has low family support.
Wow, thank you for that information.
Yeah, no, sure. Well, finally, I think we should talk about how to cope with this difficult circumstance. Don't you think?
Definitely. Do you have some tips for our audience right now to tell them?
Yes. Well, you should take a time out, like practice yoga, listen to music, meditate, get a massage, learn relaxation techniques, anything that helps you um, connect with yourself. Because stepping back from the problem helps clear your head a lot. Also, you should eat well balanced meals. Don't skip any meals, and you could keep energy busting snacks on hand in case you're feeling down. And well, it's very important to limit alcohol and caffeine, which can aggravate anxiety and trigger panic attack. Do you have any other tips you want to share?
Yes, actually. I heard that you should get enough sleep because when we are stressed, our body needs additional sleep and rest.
Mhm.
Also, exercise daily to help feel good and maintain, the health. And talk to someone, like tell friends and family that you're feeling overwhelmed and let them know how they can help you, or talk to a physician or therapist professional for help.
Yeah, well, I think those are really good tips, especially that last one, because you should really consider seeking help if you need to. Thank you a lot for sharing.
Yes. Well, unfortunately, our time has come to an end, and I really want to thank you again for taking the time to talk about such an important matter with us.
Well, thanks for you for opening this space of conversation for all of us. Remember, guys, take care of your mental health and never doubt to speak to professional help if you feel the burden is too much.
That's right. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye.